This is the Faders Up Podcast.
Welcome to the Faders Up Podcast. I'm Czar.
It's your boy O'Shea.
And this is a podcast about pro audio and beyond. If you have a question you want answered on the podcast, you can reach us at fadersuppodcast@yahoo.com. You can join the discussion for this episode and more on our Facebook group, Faders Up Podcast. And don't forget to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And all guests and hosts that appear on the show will be in the show notes. So this episode, we are going to talk about brand loyalty. And to help with that, we've got A Kid with us.
What up, what up, what up?
And I always like to talk about how we met. So we met on TikTok. He's the second person this season that met on TikTok that's been on the podcast. Yeah, but for those who don't know, you tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm from Atlanta. Just grew up making music producer, engineer, songwriter, all stuff music production. I did 5 years in the U.S. Army. I just got out recently. And here I am, man.
So you from Atlanta or you live in Atlanta? That's two very different things.
That's fair, because Atlanta is a melting pot now. Yeah, that's a good question. No, I am from Atlanta. I am an ATLian all the way through, which we're becoming more and more rare, I feel like, because so many people are coming to Atlanta.
I feel Nashville is similar in that way. I met someone who said they were from Nashville. I'm like, you're from Nashville? Because you just don't see that a lot.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get into our regular segment of Who's Been Pushing Faders Up, where we just discuss what we've been working on. O'Shea, you've been MIA, so tell everybody how you've been pushing Faders Up.
Yes, sir, man. First of all, it feels good to be back. This is my first episode of 2024, I believe. So yeah, man, the main fade I've been pushing up is Holy Matrimony. Your boy got married March 24th. So yeah, man, that's why y'all haven't seen her from me. Just been busy planning the wedding, just making sure the lights staying on and paying bills and all that good stuff. So that's the main thing, but I'm easing back into production. A priority right now is getting ready for the final producer showcase at Belmont. So if you're a new listener, I'm an adjunct professor. I teach hip hop production techniques at Belmont University. So we're getting ready to have our semester finale where students are going to have about 10 minutes to showcase various tracks that they've produced through the year. So that's been my main thing, just marriage and teaching. What about you, Czar?
I'm about to review, I have to jump my email real quick, new Denise Audio plugin and actually, now that I say that, Motion. Okay, yes, this is a new plugin. So yeah, it's called Motion Filter, which just looks to me it's one of those plugins that adds movement. I had to look and see if it was a new plugin because so for those who don't know, Baby Audio acquired Denise Audio last year, I think. But the first plugin they did was a rebranding, which has been tied to what we're talking about today. But they redid Bass XXL, which was they updated the UI basically, and I think they added a few new features as well. So I had to make sure that this wasn't another one of those type plugins where they redid or updated. But yeah, this is a new plugin from Denise. This is a new plugin from Denise Audio. I'm gonna be checking that out. I got a review on a new Fuse Audio Labs plugin coming out soon, and really trying to get around to doing some of these YouTube video ideas that I've had in my head for years now. Really, like I've got the Chandler Opto TG compressor, and I want to compare that to the Waves. See how that compares. Just a lot of Roswell Mini K47 versus the 67X. I've got a comparison of that coming soon. I need to sit down and shoot. That's really it. Just doing just getting some reviews done. What about you, A Kid? How you been pushing faders up?
Dude, like I said earlier, man, like offline, like I do so much stuff, bro. Like I'm a squirrel, you know, but congrats on getting married. Like we lost a good one, brother. I'm married too. Like, it's great. I love it. Like, she's my best friend for sure. And having a wife is great. But damn, it's like on to a new life. But anyways, yeah. So I also do like film production for a lot of people, because my company is Seaborn Productions, and it's music and film. And trying to tie all this together has been like a year-long process, since we're going to get into branding. But I've been doing a lot of sound design, trying to work in with certain brands for, synthesizers, just trying to weasel my way in to make brand deals, so that there's a purpose behind the productions that I'm doing. Not just like a lot of us just make music and like it doesn't really go anywhere. So trying to like build connections has been like my past 3 months. Not so much like actual production, just building connections, and then learning sound design, trying to DJ and get myself in the door, in as many doors as possible. Because like I said, I just got out of the military, so I'm having to like reestablish myself like ASAP and try and play catch up, because it's essentially a hiatus from the real world. So yeah, I'm just trying to do so many different things at once, man.
So you mentioned music, you mentioned film, you mentioned sound design. So what DAW do you use? Do you use the same DAW for all of those, or do you use different DAWs for each of those lanes?
Yeah, so main music production DAW would be FL Studio and Luna. I have Pro Tools, but I'm not a Pro Tools savvy guy. But I have it for all my other buddies who know how to use it. For film production, it's DaVinci Resolve. And then sound design is just either through analog synthesizers or just like VSTs within FL Studio.
Okay. Yeah, sound design is one of those, really interesting ones. I did some of that in school, and I would like to continue it. It's a fun thing to do, and definitely a break from the typical music production and music recording.
Exactly.
Especially when you get stuff that's like, they send you a creature, and it's like, we need to create how this sounds.
Yeah.
That's
It hasn't. So like, it hasn't necessarily been like post film production sound design, like trying to make the way a T-Rex sounds or something. It's mainly been like, hey, let's make a bunch of really cool presets that we can use in music specifically. Or like, if I'm going to score my own short film, then we have like, some kind of strings or like string ensemble or choir to put behind it, but something that sounds interesting,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
just trying to sound different.
Yeah, do you also do I think it's called Foley?
So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, no.
For the sound design.
Not a Foley guy. Yeah.
Not a Foley guy. Okay.
It's cool. Yeah, it's cool, but like, man, I went down the rabbit hole on Foley one time, and I was like, I'm good. Like, this is a lot. Like, I'm sure you've seen it, where there's people who have entire like bedrooms dedicated to Foley, and they have different type of floors. They have like rocks and grass, and they got all kinds of stuff everywhere to make the craziest noises you could ever think of. And I was like, I'll let that person be the subject matter expert.
I mean, it definitely looks fun. Belmont has like a Foley studio, and it's like,
it's wild.
this is more than just grabbing a broomstick and putting your microphone beside it. It's like,
right.
I mean, it's like flower beds not flower beds, but like boxes with like a bunch of rocks and gravel and sand and
like, that's how they make the sound of a car starting, and you're like, what?
Like I know breaking celery is a lot of times bones breaking.
Like punching sounds.
What? What are we talking about?
I did a little Foley for a movie one time. I had to drive. I can't remember what. It was past Nashville. It was past Franklin. I think it was Mount Pleasant, but went to this marina, and we recorded water splashing, car driving by, door opening and closing, all little sound effects like that. Because it's also crazy to think of the person who has to sit there and, like you said, what a T-Rex sounds like, and then you send someone like 100 different options of what this, and you have to go through each one and decide, you know, what you like, what you don't like, what you love, what you hate, and just filter all of that out. Like that's why.
And not to mention, like, because I mean, I feel like a lot of people know this, but some people don't. Like, Pro Tools was originally designed for post-film production for that reason, where you have a guy sitting here watching the movie playing, and then they're making these sound effects as it's happening. So to sync something like that together for like a T-Rex is like, it's insane. You know, no, I'm good. Yeah. But I will say, I'll be out in public, and this is just like being a music guy in general and a drummer. I'll just like hear certain sounds. Like the other day I was at Cracker Barrel and I opened the bathroom door and it made this like really cool noise. And I'm like, I pull my phone out and I'm like recording this bathroom door opening. This guy walks by. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Don't worry about it."
All right. We're going to get into some listener questions here. First one we got is from Dominic Williams, 33 from YouTube. He asks, are hardware mic preamps still much better than plugins? And if so, what mic preamps would you recommend other than a 1073? So let's start with at first part. Are hardware mic preamps still much better than plugins? I can't answer that one just because I don't use any software emulation plugins. I only use, I guess I'll say real mic preamps. But Oshay, I know you use UA, and AK, I think you use UA too, right? Yeah, you mentioned Luna earlier. So how do y'all think the comparison between actual mic preamps and the digital emulations are?
Yeah. I think there have only been maybe two, not maybe three. When I was at the record shop has an Avalon. They have 1073 and they have the API 512. In my personal opinion, I think the API UA version translates extremely well to the hardware version. Same with the Avalon. I think, honestly, I mean, in some purists like Czar and maybe some older guys might want to crucify me for this, but I really don't think it matters. At the end of the day, the general listening public, they don't know. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? There are Grammy Award winning engineers that have done full projects in the box, including preamps. So I just think go with what you like. If it's in the budget, cool. If it makes you feel like you're having fun, cool. Like, and I'll say the last thing, then I'll let AK chime in. Like when it comes to production, right? Like I was looking through some old episodes. We had an episode called Are Loops Cheating? At the end of the day, man, once again, the people listening to music don't care. My thing is stay true to whatever your personal aesthetic thing is, right? Like, so for me, there's certain things that I won't do with loops just because it makes me feel like, well, that wasn't fun. I don't feel like I participated in that. But that's my personal thing. Some people don't feel that. Some people go all the way to the extreme where it's like, I don't play anything unless I carve the wood that made the guitar and I pluck the strings myself from like a horse.
That's me.
Well, that's a perfect segue,
man. I kind of agree. I think because like I don't know, I was the broke kid who was the only kid with a studio in my neighborhood for a while, and like all I had was, I guess, an Apollo. So like, this is what we got to use. This is what we got, boys. And so, like using all like the UAD stuff, that's the best I had ever heard at that time. And it definitely took like my music production to another level as far as like, you know, sonic clarity. So I saw no problem. And then when I finally upgraded to like hardware preamps, I mean, all I have is I have a UA 4710D, right? And it's got a lot of features on it. But that's the reason I got it. Cause I'm like, if I'm gonna buy a hardware preamp, I want something that has a lot of functionality. And so, because it's gonna cost me, and this might be all I can get for a while. And the more I play with it, I'm like, man, there's really not that big of a sonic difference. There's like different tone qualities, sure. But like, I have the UA Sphere thing, or the Labs, whatever. What is it?
I want
the
that so
I have
bad.
the Townsend Labs before they bought them out. So I can only run this through my Apollo because it has to be perfectly synced. Otherwise, you get phase issues. And so I'm using the API preamp, and it sounds amazing. You know, I've worked in major studios with all the preamps and, you know, vintage stuff you could think about, and they're still going all in the box with UA preamps. So it's what inspires you, like you said. If you feel that you want to buy a nice hardware preamp because that motivates you to go in the studio and make music, and you could tangibly touch it and like have that dexterity with it, and that makes you want to make music, then like do what you got to do.
And see, and for me, I mean, I've had hardware preamps for so long that when the plug-in versions came out, I was like, why would I fool with this when I already have preamps? And I'll also say that the preamps that I do have, I don't think any of them are part of the UA line. Like, I don't have my preamps are, off the top of my head, I probably got too many, but like Neve 511, Chandler Little Devil Pre, Mic Tech preamp, Empirical Labs, Tone Lux, La Chapelle. Like, none of these are in the UA lineup of preamps. So if I did it, maybe I would try it out then. But I don't know. I've never looked at plug-in preamps because I have actual preamps. So that never, I would try it, but I'm not gonna buy into that ecosystem just to try it when I have so many preamps.
Now, granted, I would say I would only use Universal Audio's preamps just because of their unison technology. That's it. I don't have experience with anybody else's stuff, but if it wasn't for UA, here, I'd be all hardware for sure.
Who? Gosh, I guess UA has such a lock on that. Like, who else does that though?
Maybe sure Antelope.
That's right, Antelope.
Yeah, Antelope, and is one more too. Slate Audio does it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Steven Slate, and I hear good things about that one too. I've never tried it though.
Yeah,
it is less expensive than the Townsend Labs because hey kid, I'm glad you mentioned that because I didn't even realize. I guess within the past few months, they released another version of the Sphere where the mic isn't different, but the LX comes with like 20 different mic models, and the DX comes with like 30 something. So it's like
I see what they did.
It's a $500 difference, right? So you can start with it for $1,000, which is I think what the Slate mic was going for, is probably less now.
Yeah.
Or you can get access to more mics for $1,500. Like, I mean,
see, I'm happy I got grandfathered in with the Townsend Labs because it came with my Apollo, which was a crazy deal. But I was like, that means something is about to happen. Someone's about to get bought out. Because I also trade stocks, so I know how like companies can start working when you really think about it. It's all about finances, right? And I was like, okay, this is too good of a deal. What's going on here? And when they came out with the Sphere, now you got deals like that where it's like, oh, if you buy the LX, you get 20. But if you buy this for 500, you get 30 more. And you're like, well, I need those 10 more mics because I don't know. You know?
Am I tripping, or did Slate come out with an interface?
I don't know. I'll look it
don't
up
know.
real quick.
I really don't pay attention to Slate, but I'm thinking because UA has, the unison, it's all tied into the DAW and the interface and all that. Antelope doesn't have the DAW, but it's tied into the interface. So I'm thinking, is the Slate just plugins?
I don't know. I
Like,
feel like I should know because he was just at NAMM this past year, and I
I did
was
see him
talking to
there,
the
yeah.
dude. I was just briefly talking to him, and all he had on display was the Raven, user interface
Oh, the
monitor,
touchscreen
the
joint.
touchscreen
Yeah.
stuff, and I didn't see a interface.
Because I'm just I'm trying to think how they're doing that without latency. Is it a separate standalone?
I'm on the website now, and it doesn't look like they have an interface. That now, I mean, they got an actual. So that's the thing they do. So when the Slate first came out, so I did have a Slate when I was teaching at the high school, and but yeah, the Slate used to come with its own actual hardware preamp. So it's kind of like how the Apollo. You have to use the Apollo to access the plugins. That's what Slate did. Like you could use the mic without their preamp and still use the plugins, but basically it was like a sync calibration thing.
So you're saying it's a microphone that has the preamps as plugins?
Correct.
Okay.
That's how it was when they first came out, but now you can buy the microphone just by itself. I don't even know if they still make the actual preamp that was used for it.
Okay,
Interesting.
I was just curious. That's enough time on Slate.
Yeah.
This episode is not about them. They are not paying us for this.
Second part of this question is what mic preamps would you recommend other than a 1073? I would, let me see, tube based. I really like the Useful Arts SFP1. It's probably one of the best tube preamps I've seen and used in a while. If you're looking at something transformer bound, let me see, Phoenix Audio stuff. I like the Phoenix Audio stuff. Trying to think of something transformerless I like.
See, Matt, I knew you was going to name these vintage boutique stuff that
no
you don't hear. Nowhere. You ain't mentioned the 737, which is like a iconic hip hop. But that's the thing with Czar though. Like his ear is different.
Yeah,
his ear is different because he's gonna tell you if somebody's if this was a hip hop conversation, and you're like, hey, who's the greatest of all time? He's the kind of guy to say something like Tech Nine or some underground.
Oh yeah,
person that's not super mainstream.
Yeah. I don't.
So what else?
I don't. Yeah, I try to. I try not to use or get what everyone else has. And so I definitely like to be
That's
different.
smart.
And a 737 is like $4,000 now. So
that's crazy.
I know.
Never.
Not the emulation plugin though.
Yeah,
that's still too expensive. But anyway, let me see. The Black Lion Auteur. I like that. That's transformerless on the input and transformer balance on the output. Phoenix Audio is the same way.
Cool stuff.
I'm trying to think of one more here. If you're looking at 500 series, I really like that Elysia. Oh, what is it called? Sculptor. I think
is that a preamp?
It's a preamp with like a one knob compressor on it. Let me just make sure
I thought it was like a transient designer or something like that.
Okay, then it may not be the
I never clicked on it. I don't know.
Let me get the right name.
Yeah, Elysia makes amazing stuff.
Yeah, that is it. Sculptor. Yeah, so 500 series preamp, which I'm surprised that they haven't made that into a rack version, as their 500 series usually translates over to rack versions as well. But not to get too off topic, did you see the channel strip that Elysia had?
I was just about to say they're about to come out with a dope channel strip anyway. So It's only going to be like 10 grand, I'm sure, but
Yeah, right. Yeah, they were. I was like, "What's the
Yeah.
price?" And they're like,
no,
"We
don't worry
don't
about it.
know." And I'm like, "You don't know, but I bet I know."
Your firstborn child will do.
Yeah, right. But yeah, those are some any with some preamps that y'all like other than the 1073.
Go ahead, O'Shea.
Man, so yeah, I mean, at home outside of the actual commercial studio, I mean, I'm a plug-in guy, so the only like hardware preamps that I feel really comfortable and experienced with. First one is the API, the 512, which is the 500 series. And I love that one so much because for about 4 or 5 years, I was teaching and training students on an API 1608 console in the studio in my classroom. So it was
That's
like,
crazy.
so I definitely had a few years to like really, you know what I'm saying, get used to that.
You had that
sound.
at a high school?
Yeah, man. So
What?
here in Nashville,
Oh,
well, I'm not even going,
yeah. It's Nashville. That makes sense.
yeah, I'm not even going to speak too much on it and get a school free promo right now because
Sure.
I don't work there no more, and that's a whole nother story. But yeah, so it was super dope. It was like the $1.2 million studio. Of course, people from the Recording Academy, you know, contributed. But yeah, so that at the record shop, I've also used like the 737 I mentioned, and then the CL1B. Actually, no, hold on, that's not a preamp.
That's compressor.
That's a compressor. I'm tripping. It was a signal chain where was it? No, it was the 73. Never mind. But API, I just love clean, like clean sound. Like
Yeah.
I remember I first got my Apollo. The artist I was working with before, I think I probably was on what was that on? I was probably on a Focusrite. And that next recording session, once I had it, as an artist, like not even engineer, his very first comment was like, "Man, that joint just sounds so clear."
Yeah.
Right. So like, I don't really look for coloration in preamps.
You'd probably like a Grace Designs preamp.
That's too clean for me.
I've seen those before.
That's
That's
like
too clean for me.
Yeah, that's the cleanest I could think of.
I like clean with a hint of color. I said on the on one of the previous episodes this season that, you know, when you add a lot of color, you also lose clarity. You run the risk of losing clarity when adding a ton of color. So yeah, I like clean with a little hint of color, which is good reason why I really like that Useful Arts SFP1 preamp. It's a tube preamp, but it has a color knob that I believe is like 1 to 10. But of course, 1, you're really clean, and then the more you turn that color knob up, the more harmonics gets introduced. So very versatile preamp.
Yeah.
Hey, the native. Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
Go ahead. What are you gonna ask?
Nah, I was about to get off track, and then we'll
Yeah,
be
please go ahead, kid.
Okay. I got you. Not this exit. Next exit. Man, I bought the UA4710D for a reason because, like I was saying earlier, it has so much functionality. Kind of like what you're saying, it has that blend knob where I can go from solid state to tube, and I can blend, wet, dry, however I want between those two. And then it has an 1176 incorporated into it, which is just nice because like it's kind of all you need. It kind of answers another question later on, but yeah. But if
which one did you say that was?
It's the Universal Audio 4710D, and the cool thing about it, the other reason I got it is because I have an X8P Apollo. And with this 4710, it gives me 8 more channels extended of ADAT with an Apollo, which is really cool. So I just extended my I/O in my studio by just having this preamp. I would recommend that for somebody with an Apollo. But if you don't, then I don't know. I'm the more I engineer, I'm kind of with Czar where I just want, or I'm O'Shea where I just want kind of clean. And I'll do all the coloration in post, like later on with, some kind of saturation plugin or whatever. I just want a clean recording because I'm going to send it through other stuff. But if not, then I would just tell someone to get a channel strip, man. Get a channel strip with a dope preamp on the front end, and then you got everything else after that. I wouldn't buy just a set like preamp.
Yeah.
I see that. And it's to I'm also going to point out that UA preamp. So Desiree has the Twinfinity, which I think is just the single channel one.
Yeah,
That's the 610, right?
Not the 610, no. The Twinfinity is like the single channel of the 4-channel one.
it's just
that
I
he's
thought
exactly.
it was
talking
called
about.
a 610 though, because I used to have one in my classroom.
No, the LA 610 is the 610
Okay,
preamp with
that's right.
with the LA
Okay.
2A on it. But I was talking to her a little while ago, and she sold a lot of her gear, but she did keep that preamp.
It's
Like,
just
she
useful,
loves that
man.
one.
I will say
710.
though,
That's what it's called.
but see, this is where like the engineer in me wants to be like, well, it depends. You know,
Mhm.
what kind of music are you doing?
Yeah.
What kind
yeah.
of microphone do you already have? You know, what is it you're recording? And like, what's the end state? Are you doing hip hop? Are you doing EDM or pop? Like, if you have a tube mic, I might not want a tube preamp because it's going to be two tube.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to have a lot of like 330 hertz just boosted, and you're going to be sculpting a lot more later on in post. It's going to be, you know, two colored. It's like, you know, how do we balance this out?
Mhm.
So it's so much. I feel like whenever somebody tries to go online and like get information like this, and you have somebody just telling you to do this, do steps 1, 2, and 3, like that's what we all really want. But when you actually talk to people who've been doing this for a long time, they're gonna be like, it all depends, and that's not what you want to hear, but it's true.
I just thought when we just talked about clean, I'll throw a clean preamp out there. I really like that's I'd say pretty affordable. The Craneborn Audio Camden EC1,
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
those are really clean, and you've got the two. It's got a Mojo circuit for Cream and Thump. Thump adds low end. Where Cream, I'm not crazy about Cream on vocals, but Cream adds some distortion. But just without that Mojo circuit, it's a really clean preamp. And then the EC1 also has a really good headphone amp on it too, which a lot of mic preamps don't have. So you get a great headphone amp and has multiple outputs on it too, which is also really nice.
I will say this isn't a 1073, but I would love to have a 1081. That'd be kind of cool.
Now, that one, I don't know much about the preamp, but I know the EQ goes up higher on a 1081.
That's it. Yeah,
Okay.
it's just different frequencies.
And I'm really not I'll go ahead and say it. I don't care. I really don't care for 1073.
I don't either, dude. I just want one just to say I have one and be a douche about it.
Now, I have the Chameleon Labs 7603, which is a 1073 style channel strip, but it's definitely like if you look at the EQ points and everything, you're like, oh, this is a 1073 clone, but it does not sound like a 1073. It's more open. It's a little cleaner, and I love it. I love that channel strip. So if you want something that's, well, I can't even say similar to a 1073 because they really did their own thing with it. But that's one of my favorite channel strips to go to.
Now, O'Shea, I'll give you this, man. I just learned this recently from a dude over at East West Studios in LA. The CL1B or an LA2A, I've seen guys go directly in with a mic and use it as a preamp. Use a compressor as a preamp. It's not often, very special circumstance, but like they did it one time because an intern kind of screwed up and it was an accident. And they were like, wait, don't fix it. Like, we kind of like the way this sounds. And they just rolled with it. So that is possible.
I've heard about that, and I've been thinking about trying it because I've got the Lindell Audio Lin 2A, and I've been thinking about trying that just to, because I've heard of people doing that before, but I also kind of feel like, why? Why would you?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't remember it until right now. So I'll probably try it later on today.
Yeah. You never know, man. Some of the best hits of all time, man, were accidents.
Accidents.
So, yeah.
Next question here from Pharaoh Lawless 1 on YouTube. He asked, "Do you compress when recording vocals?"
So, yeah, I've been dying to hit this. So first, let me just say, man, listen to our old episodes before you ask us. Nah, I'm joking. But this is a question we've answered before. I mean, it's personal prep. Yeah, yeah. When Desiree was on here, because we talked about how with both of us going to audio engineering school, they teach you to never do that. But then as you grow in your skill set and your confidence and knowing what you want, we actually do it. So yes, I compress when recording vocals, but I'm very conservative. Even the way I mix, I'm not a very aggressive mixer. So I just want, maybe not 1.5, 1.5 to 1, maybe 2 to 1 ratio, just to catch peaks, man. Not for coloration, not to squash it. Because the reason why they tell you in schools not to do it is because you can't undo it, right? So it's like you have to be very certain, one, how to even use a compressor, and then two, know why you're doing it. So I personally compress when I'm recording vocals. And side note, another shout out for Universal Audio. That's dope with the Unison plugins because you can actually record with compression, with a compressor plugin on. You can like record that signal.
That's wild.
Because without that, you would have to do like some crazy routing to like get that same effect.
Yeah.
Recording through a plugin is wild to me.
Don't you turn your nose up at plugins, buddy.
I mean, my answer to that is yes, I compress vocals when I record, but only when needed. So by habit, preamp into compressor, compressor into the interface, and we're tracking. And then one day I forgot to patch in the compressor, and we're halfway through recording these vocals, and I was like, shit, I didn't put the compressor in. But then I was like, this sounds good though.
Yeah,
I don't need it. I don't need it. So now if I know who I'm dealing with, which I record a lot of R&B pop singers, and sometimes they're gonna definitely need it because I deal with some people with some strong voices. I know for sure to get the compressor in there. And then, sometimes you realize you don't need it. So I do it as needed basis now.
Yeah. Same thing. I just enough to catch the peaks and kind of tame it. Cause I mean, you never know. Like sometimes I'll have artists in here that are just loud and they don't know how to use a mic. And it's like, all right. But honestly, like, I really don't. The only reason I really use compression for myself is just for that coloration of the compressor.
That too.
Yeah. Like that's like I have the Warm Audio CO1B, and it's great. Like everybody says it's a clean compressor, but like there's coloration to a CO1B. Like what are we talking about? That's why we have it. And just I don't know, but specifically octo compression on a vocal. Like, even though I have this 1176 built into this 4710, I rarely really use it because it's just too much. You know what I mean? It's too fast. And that could be useful if it's like a rapper and he's got a lot of words, right? And very dynamic. Cool. But like, it's not always that. So again, it just depends, dude. Like, what are we doing?
And then, and me too, like when I'm doing rap vocals, I will... just a couple dB just to hold it in place. Because with rap, when you get towards the end of those phrases, they start to run out of breath and the vocal dips down. And so, a couple dB of compression tracking with that. But I try to tell people all the time that rap vocals are not that dynamic. Like you're not getting the same dynamics from a rap vocal that you're getting out of a singing vocal where I may be doing 5 to 8 when I'm tracking, just when he or she hits those notes that get loud, and I just need to, pull it down just a little bit. But
See, it's harder now, I feel like, because we have this weird like hybrid of dudes rapping and then within the same verse they're singing. So it's like, what do you want me to do here? So it's like, hey, either you stop doing one take like that, or we're gonna, just put you in and chop it up. Yeah.
I've definitely had to do that before, because I've got in the lunchbox I have the JDK V12 compressor that I use for tracking rap vocals, and I have the N-Word Connections Brute, which is an opto compressor that I use for tracking singing vocals. And yeah, it got to a point where I'm like, bro, just sing or rap, and we're gonna track that.
Yeah.
We're gonna track the rap, and then we'll track the singing, because I've got two different chains that I use for that. But yeah, you're absolutely right on that one.
But I will say, like, for myself, because like I'm also an artist, or I'll just do like demo tracks for other artists. Like, I know how my voice works. So like when it comes to hardware, even with some buddies, like I essentially have like a template of my hardware for them. So I know I can push this compressor a little harder because I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna send the vocal back through it again anyways and do this. So we can chop all this up on the front end, and I might hit like 5-10 dB of gain reduction with this CL1B, and it sounds great. But that's just because I already have a history with it. If I'm at like a commercial studio, then I'm just gonna barely hit that 1-2 dB. Let's just get it in there as clean as we can. But you have a little more luxury in your own home studio to get away with stuff like that.
And I'll point out also, just on something like the Camden EC1 I was talking about a little bit ago that has multiple outputs. You can use those multiple outputs to track one track with compression and one track without compression, and just record both tracks at the same time. So pretty much any preamp that has multiple outputs on it, you can do that with.
Wait, now is that just using the Cranborn Audio like rack, the chassis? Because I know.
No, the EC1, it's got an XLR and a TRS output. Not most. Some preamps will have a TRS and a XLR output that both work at the same time, or something like the Rupert Neve Design stuff has a one of the outputs is like 6 dB lower, and you can use that if you don't want to hit the A to D converter that hard, which is that's pretty interesting.
That is interesting.
All right, we're going to get into our main topic here, talking about brand loyalty. So this first question to everybody: are there any brands that you're loyal to?
Who wants to?
I feel like I just talked my mouth off, bro. Go ahead.
So, I mean, I think definitely anybody actively listening should already pick up. Me for sure, and I think A-Kid as well. I mean, I have a brand loyalty to Universal Audio.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
It's seasonal, and the reason why I say it's seasonal, like, it's been great for me. But if somebody drops $50,000 in my bank account right now, I can't with 100% certainty say with that $50,000. I'm not going to look into another interface, right?
I'm just about to say that you're not loyal. Like when I say loyal,
I know. Well, that's why I check.
Hey, bro, I only like you in the wintertime, dude. Like,
yeah. See, but here's the thing, and this kind of even gets back to the hardware mic preamp question. Is kind of like, I heard somebody say before, nothing means anything until you compare it to something else, right? So, like, right now, I have zero complaints about my Apollo. I love it. I have zero complaints about my Yamaha HS8 monitors. I've had them for 10 years now. I've had my Apollo Twin for 10 years. I love them. I have no, like, pressing need or awareness to replace them or upgrade. but also that's not a realistic option on the table right now. But if somebody dropped 50 grand in my bank account, it's like, oh, well, now I could upgrade if I wanted. Because when things aren't an option, I don't even allow myself to fantasize or daydream about it. So
I envy that.
yeah, but one thing I will say, one thing that money wouldn't change. If somebody dropped 50 grand into my account right now, I would still be Team Apple. I would still have an iPhone. I would still use Logic Pro, and I would still be a Mac user. Now, I will upgrade from my Mac Mini to whatever the most souped up version
I'll
of
get a Mac
would
Studio. Yeah.
be. Yeah.
So are you loyal to Apple?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Definitively.
Okay.
Definitively.
Hey, look, I gotta pee. Can we pause?
Yeah.
Can we take a quick break? I've been holding for like 30 minutes, dude. I was waiting till O'Shea was done so I can like just give me a break, dude. I'll be right back.
All right.
I'm drinking an energy drink, bro.
Man. And next time you just gotta have a bottle right there beside you, man. Wait. But
Because to me, loyal means that you can't do no wrong. Like whatever happens, like I'm here.
well, so you know me being big on words, we're gonna have to back it up when he gets back to breaking down what loyal means. Because I feel like when people say they loyal to their friends, matter of fact, I'm gonna say that part.
All right.
All right. Hey, welcome back.
I'm out of breath, dude. I'm like trying to run to get back here.
Bro. It's all good because I'm actually going to back it up. So forget my answer for now. I mean, he might keep it in there. And he's going at it again, bro. Bro, but nah. My thing, before we talk about brand loyalty, I think and people that listen know I'm very literal. I think it's important to break down what did loyalty mean to you. Because different people got different ideas of loyalty, right? So I'll tell you I'll give you a dictionary definition. So according to Merriam-Webster, which is like one of the most commonly used dictionaries, loyal means an unswerving in allegiance, such as faithful in allegiance to one's lawful sovereign or government, faithful to a private person to whom faithfulness is due, faithful to cause, ideal, custom, ideal, custom, institutional product, showing loyalty. You can't use the word to define a word, but basically an unswerving allegiance. So when I think of unswerving, that means you don't change, you don't move to the left or the right.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm going straight. So
it can't be seasonal.
Right. So if that's going to be the definition we use, unless there's a differing opinion.
Well, we can't change the definition, so we gotta.
Oh,
we gotta stay with it.
Applications change all the time. Maybe not the original meaning, but applications change. But are we good with that? It's an unswerving allegiance, no matter what. No matter what.
Define unswerving and define allegiance. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, define no matter what.
I'm just kidding.
I do break stuff down like that, but
unconditionally.
Yeah, I'm just saying loyal to me is I'm staying here no matter what.
Then the answer would have to be no, because like as much as I am Team Apple, and so many years of my life is tied into this ecosystem, I can't say no matter what. Because what if Apple comes out and like, man, they're supporting like every cause in the world that I'm against, and they're hiking the prices, and the quality is going down. Like, it's a lot of scenarios that would say, oh, well, based on this, nah, I can't be loyal to that person anymore. Or that object.
I'm not trying to bring politics in it, but I look at it like a presidential election. I'm not Democratic. I'm not Republican. Just who has the best idea? Who makes the most sense? who's going to give me like the most benefit of what it is that I need to do.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and whatever side that person ends up on, whether they red or blue, if that's what I align with,
If it makes sense, I'm working with it.
yeah,
Okay.
I
That's
agree.
not very
So-
loyal. So
Well,
I don't
hold
know.
on. All right. So, O'Shea, yes or no? Are you loyal to Universal Audio?
By definition,
Yes or no?
I said no. You're not gonna paint me into a corner. By definition, no.
Okay.
Here-
Okay.
Here's what. Wait,
Why are
wait,
you
let
going
me-
on more?
'cause I wanna answer.
I love her, but she's so bad for me.
No, I would say there's only 3 people I'm loyal to.
talking
Like
about
by their
brands.
definition. I know, but okay.
Got him,
so
dude.
so no, I'm not loyal to any brand.
Okay.
If your name ain't God,
Okay.
Jewel, or Rick, I'm not loyal. I'm loyal when it benefits me.
I'm making this so
That's
much.
not how loyalty works, bro.
I'm making this so much
Yes, it is.
complicated.
Yes.
You're making this way too
If she
complicated.
ain't doing the dishes, we're done. No.
Okay.
That's
So
funny.
Apple. Yes or no?
No.
Okay. No, I'm not loyal to a brand because AK, like you're saying, I mean, if there's something better comes along, I'm willing to, to try that out. But I do see myself being more loyal towards Apple just because I cannot see myself using a Windows computer.
What does more loyal really mean though? Because you just said you're not, but then you said but. So
I'm talking about
for
for
the tables have turned.
no, I'm saying for like pro audio brands. I guess we're gonna count Apple as a pro audio brand or not. I'm saying no, I'm not loyal to any piece of gear or DAW or because if something comes out better and I try it and I like it better, then I'm gonna switch to that. I'm gonna move to that. Like definitely not loyal to any plugins because I switch plugins every
All the
30
time.
days. You know?
Oh, we all know
You know,
that.
something else. But when I break it down to just like Mac or PC, like I can't see myself using Windows. So even if Apple did some dumb shit, I would probably still use Apple because I don't want to
Yeah.
have to move over to Windows.
Yeah, the only reason I'm in the Apple universe is because Apollos weren't compatible with Windows for a while.
Yep.
And I remember being on the phone with like one of the lead engineers at Universal Audio for like an hour and a half, which is kind of what won my loyalty there. And he's like, yeah, we wrote the code. It's supposed to work with Windows. And he couldn't even figure it out with me. And I was like, well, y'all got to go back and redo this. So I bought like a $2,000 laptop and then the next day returned it for a MacBook just to work with an Apollo, which is asinine to think about.
That's wild.
That's wild, dude. And I had this like buyer's regret for a little bit, but the more that I used Apple or like a MacBook, I was like, oh, okay, this actually makes a lot of sense for what I'm doing. It just worked better. I don't know.
Yeah, for me, before I started building my setup, every studio I went in had a Mac. So when I see nothing but Macs in other studios, I'm like, okay, that's what I need. I mean, had it been Windows, then yeah, I would have bought a Windows. But when I'm looking at, I'm basing off what I need based off what everyone else has. So
Yeah.
I went out.
But I thought like if I don't have the cheese grater, it's not going to be good enough, you know? But like even as a tech guy, I'm looking at Apple's specs for their MacBooks and I'm like, this is not good. This is overpriced stuff that like I could outsource and build myself with a Windows and get 4 times the processing power for a quarter of the price. So that's the only reason I wouldn't be loyal to Apple because they just absolutely price gouge their products. And that's just kind of
as y'all know, I'm a Studio One user. I'm referring to the listeners, but I'm a Studio One user and they just updated to 6.6, which includes support for Apple Spatial Audio. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, let me check out I don't even know what they're Apple Pro Max, I think is the name of it. Whatever the headphones, the spatial audio headphones. I'm like, well, maybe I'll pick up these headphones. I can do some content for this, blah, blah, blah. Check it out. Man, them headphones, $650. I was like, y'all
See ya.
done lost y'all mind.
See ya. Yeah. And they're going to advertise spatial audio within headphones, which is just not a thing.
Mm.
Yeah, it feels weird. So I got Beats Pro Max earbuds, and you can enable spatial audio. And so what it does when you tilt your head to the left, like it moves the sound. It's kind of like auto panning based on how you move your head.
Yeah, where you're at.
It feels really weird, man. Like it's like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So I don't think it's something that would have any. There's no pro application in the
Benefit
studio
for
that
it.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I was like,
Right
I'm
now.
like, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, is it worth it to be loyal to a brand?
Well, none of us are loyal, so
I mean, I would say I'm loyal to UA. And because I guess I didn't even give my take on that, but
Yeah.
definitely loyal to Universal Audio just because one, like, I think their customer service is really, really good. Their products are really, they revolutionize the way that people are able to make music. Like, that's the craziest part of UA. And then, like, they continue to make stuff. I really like Luna. I think it's an amazing DAW. And, like, the console emulation in it, I think is just underrated right now. And then the other brand I would say is Ex Machina, the speakers that I have. Like,
Okay.
those guys, I was on the phone with one of their like lead techs who like builds these things by hand for like an hour. Cause Vintage King sent me like a busted pair and we're trying to fix it on FaceTime. And like I was like, hey man, I know how to solder. I understand what I'm looking at. Walk me through it. And like the dude just walked me through it and he was like, yeah, man, it's busted. And they sent me a free subwoofer to replace it. This is $1,000 sub that they just sent me, dude. And I'm like, you guys are awesome, you know? And then they replaced the busted pair with a brand new pair of speakers. And I'm like, okay, Team Ex Machina. But not just because they gave me free stuff, you know, but like the fact that
they took care of you. That
they
goes a
took
long
care of
way.
me.
That goes a long
That
way.
goes a long way. And like, but also like their product is really, really good. These speakers are amazing. And if I ever had the infinite budget to build like a Dolby Atmos system, back to spatial audio, it'd be all Ex Machina speakers. So, but like the brand loyalty is the product good, and what's their customer service like? Like, do they actually care about you? Apple would never ever care about me ever. I'm an insignificant thing. You know what I mean? I'm just a dollar sign to them.
I agree with that. And the customer service thing, like that does go such a way, because I mean, taking it away from Pro Audio, I had Geico for years, and they have like customer service, everything. They've been great. I never even looked to switch because I was happy with them, but ended up totaling my car, got a new car. I go to Geico with a quote for the new car, and it's like twice as much as I was paying. And I'm like, now we got to shop around. So was I loyal to Geico? I was, as long as everything was good.
I mean, loyal to me, you know?
And then it's like, okay, no, we gotta, at this point we gotta change. It's like even bank accounts. Bank of America sent me a mail offer, $300 checking account bonus to get a checking account with them. And I thought about it, and I was like, man, I've been with Regions for, let's say 15 years or whatever. And then I was like, I got no loyalty to Regions. Like, they're not doing anything. Like, there's nothing, nothing about this bank account is you've been a customer for 15 years. This is what we're doing to make you, So I'm like, oh no.
They never care about like seniority with some of these people, some of these brands and corporations. It's like, but they'll give all the incentives in the world to bring a new guy on.
Yeah.
I think the better word to describe how we're talking about some of these brands is preference. Because by definition, like AK, we can even challenge, by definition, you're not loyal to Universal Audio. You prefer them right now. Because if Universal Audio gets bought out and their customer service goes down and the quality of their products go down, I don't know on a scale of 1 to 10, but there's going to be some temptation.
But technically,
maybe
they wouldn't be
if they
Universal
got
Audio
bought out,
anymore.
yeah. If they got bought out, it wouldn't be the same. Exactly.
No, it could be. I mean, technically, companies have bought out companies before and kept the name or
Yeah.
did a merger.
Okay.
That's
The
fair.
whole,
That's
the whole
fair.
point, the whole point I'm making, Kazar tried to paint me into this corner earlier. So it's
I
like,
just wanted a short answer. That's all.
so I don't think so. I think the safe answer is none of us are loyal to brands, but we do have brands that we strongly prefer. I strongly have a preference and a bias towards Apple and Universal Audio.
That's fair.
Mhm.
I will say I'm loyal until like they're not to me. As far as
Mhm.
like business
Then that-
practices, you know, and
You're changing the definition.
yeah, but like but the definition goes both ways. I mean, that's even with people. Like, you know,
Mm.
you're my boy
Fair
until you're
enough.
not. Until you do something that's like, you know.
Yeah, so we've talked about brands that we would say prefer. Then are there any brands that y'all don't fool with at all?
Ooh.
It's like a Apple. It's like it goes both ways, dude. There's just some things they do. I'm like, why? Like, why are you constantly changing the charging adapters every time you upgrade a phone? You know, why are we always changing the way that we have to interface with your technology just so you can make a profit? That's annoying. Like, that's not loyal to your customer. That's, I don't know.
Yeah, I just experienced that because I just upgraded to the 15 Pro Max. So I went from Lightning
To
to
USB-C.
USB-C.
Yeah.
I'm like, and y'all jokers didn't even put a wall block in the box.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Because they know you already
It's like-
have one.
yeah. I mean, I got 10 of them, but that's not the point. You know what I'm saying?
It's like when you're in front of Congress for doing like monopolistic practices, we got a problem here, bud. You know, if you're trying to make me use Apple Pay and I can't use Google Pay and like I have to be within your universe for transactions, what, dude?
I can't think of any pro audio brand
I
that
got
I would
one.
say, you know what?
I got one
I'm
too. As of
just
recently,
not
I got
you.
one, but go ahead, Czar.
Yeah, Zara, what's yours?
It's Antelope Audio for me. No,
Really?
and it goes back to that customer service type thing. I hit an OG Orion, Orion 32. It broke. Okay, you know, shit happens. I paid $3,000 for that interface. Over time, within that year that I owned it, there was 2 newer versions that came out, which made mine drop to like $2,200. I sent it to their repair shop in the US and they wanted $1,000 to fix it. And I'm like, no, no, this is 2,200 brand new. Why am I paying $1,000 to fix this?
That's crazy.
And Antelope just did nothing to me to handle the situation. Even when I was at Sweetwater and my Sweetwater rep introduced me to, I think it was the VP of marketing with them. And she admits to me that they were having problems with that US repair shop. I'm like, well, what are y'all gonna do? Like, this is, I've never had a pro audio company not take care of me before. And this is not, saying 'cause I got a YouTube channel, I deserve special treatment or anything like that. It's
Right.
nothing to do with that. Like, here's Mog. I've got some Mog audio gear and transistor, capacitor, whatever went out in my Mog EQ. I sent it to Mog and they fixed it for free and sent it back to me. Like, that's that, and I would have been fine with even paying a little bit to fix it, but that's just they're the only company that just
Wait, did you make a TikTok video about that? About Orion?
I think I did because somebody
I
was
think you
asking me
did.
about it, and I was like, "Yep, let me give you my experience with them." Now,
Yeah.
it sounded great. Orion sounded great, but if I can't rely on your support to handle something, then like, no.
Yeah.
So I'm done. I still have an Antelope Pure 2, which is their A to D, D to A converter, and if something else came along that does what it does, I would not be. I'd get rid of it.
Yeah, I would say it's SBL for me, and this might sound petty, and before I tell this story, like I understand the business aspect of marketing and branding and like the social media of
Hold up.
the influencer thing.
Didn't you do a
Yes.
TikTok video on
Yes.
Okay.
So I did a whole YouTube video. I did a review of their new SPL Vitalizer MK3, their newest
yeah.
version.
That's
I just saw
channel
an
strip,
opportunity.
right? Channel
No,
strip?
it's like a bus processing
Okay.
unit.
Okay.
It's super dope. Like, don't get me wrong, SPL products, awesome, like phenomenal products. However, but yeah, big but here. When I went to NAMM, I met some of the SPL reps there. And at this point, I think the video I did for them had like 11,000 views on YouTube. They even put it on their YouTube channel. It was awesome. I was the only person to do it before they did it. So like, cool. I had a window of opportunity for myself. I went and met these guys and I was like, hey, I did this video. I would love to do more for you guys in the future. You know, as my channel grows, like, you know, we could work together. The guy was like all on board. He knew who I was. And they're like, yeah, here's our card, all this stuff. Well, fast forward a couple weeks, I see Colt Caparoon put a video out of the SPL Vitalizer. And I'm like, okay, like, cool, like, sure, whatever, dude. Like, more for them, I get it. And then I see him put another video out of their channel strip, and I'm like, hold on now. I was like, I get it. Like, the guy's got hundreds of thousands of followers, and like, as a brand, why would you not go with this person? I totally understand.
Yeah.
And I'm a nobody, right? So I'm like, but you still told me in person, you know, you still like said to my face, and so I contacted him, messaged him, got nothing back. And I was like, all right, like that just put a bad taste in my mouth, you know, like I don't think I'll ever do a video for you guys. Out of spite, I hope I blow up one day and you call me just so I can be like, yeah, I'll do it, and then just wreck the video and just, you know, but that's just me being petty, you know, that's not anything to do with SPL. Like, I totally get that. Like, I would still buy SPL products.
This is kind of, well, not really the same thing, but I met, I was at the Austrian audio booth at NAMM, and I was checking out their USB-C mic because when I go to NAMM, I normally bring an interface, microphone, all this different. I was like, man, if I had a USB mic, that'd be so much easier. So they're showing me their USB-C mic, and it's like, okay, well, we'll make sure you get one to check it out. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, I'll give it a review, no problems. Guy gives me his card and everything. It's just kind of the same thing. About a week after NAMM, I email him like, hey, just saying, I met you at NAMM, seeing if I can get my hands on the mic so I can, do a review of this and that. Nothing back. I don't hear nothing back. And it's like, I've got a relationship with Front End Audio. Like, I can reach out to them and have them send it to me so I can get my hands on it. But yeah, the fact that you like ghosted me on that after setting that expectation.
And I wonder how many people they do that to at NAMM. Because like, how many influencers are there with cameras and stuff? You're like, okay, everyone here is probably asking the same thing.
True. Yeah, that is true. But see now, now we got a relationship with IK Multimedia, and I saw they had a new USB-C mic out, so they sent me theirs. So now, where you had a chance for me to showcase your product, now I'm showcasing something else now. But no, I feel that's annoying. I also had something kind of similar like that happen with Tegler. Yeah. Someone reached out to me and was like, they wanted me to review the Cream, that SSL Pultec combo.
But did they want you to pay for it?
No, I to my knowledge, they were going to send it to me and let me check it out for 30 days. I'm like, okay. But I told dude, I said, I'm about to go out of town. Let me get with you next week. So I went out of town, came back. I emailed them. I emailed them back, and they emailed me back. Was like, yeah, we don't know what you're talking about.
Bro, it's like, because they reached out to me as well, and I was like, oh yeah, bet. Like, I've actually been looking at some of their stuff recently. And the guy's like, yeah, we'll send it to you, but like, we need like a down payment. And I was like, how are you going to reach out to me and then ask me to pay you to review your product? Like,
now I'll give you a card to leave on file. I understand that.
Yeah, sure.
I'll give you a card to leave on file, but no, I'm not paying. No, yeah.
I was like,
You're right.
not worth it, dude. I'm good.
And I was like, I talked to so and so. They were like, yeah, he's no longer with the company. I'm like, all right.
He was never with the company.
So I was like, man, I was whatever. But so yeah, that's that. It's interesting that happens. O'Shea, any brands pro audio brands you don't fool with at all?
Nah, nothing I can think of. Yeah, nah.
Any brands that y'all feel are headed in the right direction, or you like the direction that they're headed right now?
I feel optimistic about Akai. So I mean, of course, I'm a Native Instruments guy. But Akai has the name. They've been around before, and so because they weren't progressive thinking at first, Native Instruments was able to swoop in and kind of capture a lot of their market, and so they've been playing catch up for a few years. But I think that the tides will shift within the next couple of years. The software is not sexy looking to me.
They definitely. I don't know too much about Akai and Native Instruments. I'm not really in that beat making space, but I feel like they're still playing catch up in a way, and they've definitely had some things that have turned me off over the years, just like the so I had an MPC 2000 XL when I was making beats. Okay, I bought whatever MPC was out. I think it's called the MPC not one. I don't know. I bought some MPC that was at the time. And really my only reason for buying it, because I still got all my files from my 2000 XL. I wanted to play back my old stuff.
Oh, I remember.
And I was not able to do it with this MPC. Now it wasn't a standalone MPC. This was a MPC that you hook up to the computer or whatever. I wasn't able to play it. That was a problem. Even before that, they told me that the Mac OS version I had was supported by it. It wasn't. I had to upgrade my Mac OS version to use this MPC, and then I wasn't even able to hear my beats. And then my mastering engineer was like, Native Instruments can play MPC files, right? And I was like, that's wild. Why would Akai create a product that doesn't support their legacy files, but yet you've got Native Instruments here on the other end that does?
Yeah. Dude, I've totally forgot about Native Instruments. That is a brand that I am not a fan of. Even though I use like their sound banks, don't get me wrong, I have like over a terabyte of Native Instruments, like Contact, all that stuff. Amazing sounds. But their hardware products and their customer service, I just think it's garbage. Like their new keyboard that just came out, like
the F-Series.
Bro, they could have done what Akai did and have the beat pad on the keyboard, to be competitive. Yeah. But instead they just added a new knob, and I think it maybe has like polyphonic aftertouch. I don't know. I didn't even care. I was like, y'all had an opportunity to just take over this market space, and you barely upgraded, and you just charged $300 more for pretty much the same thing. Like when I bought an S49 keyboard, they didn't transfer the license. Whoever sold it back to Guitar Center was used. So I tried to contact Native Instruments. Well, they're a German company. So trying to get a hold of them, they don't have a phone number to reach them. So they have basically automated customer service, which is the worst to deal with. So if you have any issue with them, yeah, right. But yeah, I mean, I think they just bought out Plugin Alliance, Softtube also, or they all merged. They didn't buy each other out, but they all merged. So like, it's one of those companies that you're gonna have to use them at some point if you're in music production.
Hold on, fact check. I think that was Isotope and Native Instruments. Am I? So we did an episode on that. We should know this.
It's definitely Isotope.
Yes.
But I can't disagree with what AK is saying because I don't know.
Mm.
So I know for sure Isotope. I don't know
Yeah.
about those other.
Yeah, sorry. It's Isotope and Plugin Alliance. Yeah.
Mhm.
But anyways, like, I don't know. It's, yeah.
Is there?
I mean, so I was just going to add on to that. I can co-sign and agree with them in terms of their customer support. It's a nightmare because at one point my machine studio was messed up, so it took me a while to finally get to it. But finally, I got another one back. But it was a very convoluted process. I almost feel like I'm imprisoned to Native Instruments, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like because of the sound quality and I do like the products, is like I'm committed to it,
Yeah.
but I just gotta deal with this other stuff that I don't like. But it's
Right.
like, yeah, but there's not something else that are like better, kind of in a similar, like similar.
And
So it's like,
maybe I'm
yeah.
just an absolute degenerate and don't know how to use this thing. But like you're kind of stuck with the machine and using the machine DAW, which is a garbage DAW in my opinion.
Not yeah,
It's
you don't have to.
garbage. But like, so if I'm gonna use a machine, I gotta open up an FL Studio and really to use it without trying to map every parameter on this thing to FL, I have to open up machine within FL. And that just creates a whole nother like headache. So a lot of times I don't even get to use this thing because it's just faster to just open up Contact. So I feel like if Native Instruments would make a deal with, one of the biggest used production DAWs and integrate it a lot better, kind of like Novation did, that would be great.
Facts.
That would be perfect. They would rule the space, dude.
And those are the questions that I'm like, yo, how has this not happened yet? Right?
Mhm.
It's like, who knows what's going on behind the scenes and how much ownership people are asking and demanding for. But it's just like, yo, the first person to do it and to do it well. And I really feel like Apple is the type of company that would be positioned to absorb Native Instruments because they make so much money from other stuff.
I
They
thought
don't
they were
really
going to
care.
absorb Pro Tools for a second or Avid, but
Man,
I digress.
Yeah, I think. Well, that even get us to another. Well, yeah, I
Yeah,
don't wanna-
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
wanna- But yeah, that would be great. I would love to see the same way Apple bought Logic. You know what I'm saying? They made it Logic X. I would love to see the Apple, somebody with Apple's influence and money purchase or merge with Native Instruments because I don't want Native Instruments to lose the good qualities that makes them Native
Yeah.
Instruments, but they need something.
They just need a new head of their research and development department for their hardware. That's it. Because their sounds are crazy. Like a lot of Hollywood films use Native Instruments sound banks. Like I haven't even tapped into half of the stuff that I have, and I probably never will because it's just so much. So props to them on that part. And as far as moving forward with like sound design, because that's really why I use them, they're definitely going to lead the space there. I guess another brand, just to get back on track with this,
Right.
I would say West Audio is another one because they're integrating analog hardware and where you can interface with it as a plugin. So there's that hybrid that I think every brand should be doing. Whether you're Neve, Warm Audio, like we're moving in a hybrid space, we're going in the box, but we still want analog sound. What are you doing?
That was definitely the theme of NAMM this year to me. So many people had plug-in controllable hardware. Do you have any West Audio stuff?
Yeah, I have the NG bus comp, and
Okay.
it's amazing.
I've got
this thing.
I've got the Dione and I've got the Mimus.
And did you play with the EQ?
No.
They have
the new EQ?
The new tube one that matches
Yeah.
the bus comp? Bro,
Yeah.
it's nasty. It's also $6,000,
Right,
but
right.
it's
And
so sick.
that completely turned me off. But because I feel like I was talking to a someone else that I know that has the NG Bus Comp, and we were talking about the price of the tube compressor. I'm like, to me, West Audio has done a great job at pricing their stuff.
Yeah.
To where it's still, I don't want to use the word affordable, but it's not. Let me see. With the Dione's like 1,200, I think. Like, that's not bad for a stereo bus compressor. What's the NG Comp? Is it 3,000, 2,500?
It's gone up, actually. I got mine like 2,500.
That's not bad.
Through front end. So I got a great deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's gone up since they released the Tube EQ.
Yes, that's not bad for what it is. So, but for them to jump, and we were just talking about it, for them to that's $6,000.
That's crazy.
People with the bus comp is going to want the compressor, and that's just at that price point. I don't know. I don't know how many people are going to actually. I'm going to pull that back into a question we got coming up because that actually fits perfectly. But I'll just answer the questions. Like, brands I feel is headed in the right direction. I really like what PreSonus is doing right now, because they just announced with Studio One 6.6. They announced Studio One Hybrid, which is you get the if you get the annual subscription that includes Studio One, you now keep a perpetual license for Studio One. I think that's really nice. It doesn't get the updates, but previously, once you cancel your subscription, you don't have Studio One anymore because you're not on the subscription. Now you at least still keep some content. You keep the DAW, you keep some of the content that you get with it if you don't decide to renew the next year after that. PreSonus is doing stuff to me that no one else is doing. People ask me, because that's where my YouTube channel really got popular, from doing Studio One content. I was one of the first people doing Studio One content. And sometimes people ask me why I don't do more Studio One content now. And it's like, really, one, I feel like I've covered most of everything that Studio One really can do. But they have, PreSonus with Gregor and Joe, they kind of have a face there that's doing their own tutorial videos for PreSonus, and no one else is doing that. You like, who's the face of Pro Tools? Who's the face of Logic? Who's the face of FL? Like,
you
no one else
Wavy Wayne, dude.
like no one else has people from the company that's actually creating content. And then PreSonus, I guess Avid is now, but up until a couple years ago, like, PreSonus was the only company that was not only making the DAW, but they were making the interface. They're making the monitors. They're making a monitor controller. They've just got their hands in so much stuff. But even just the DAW and interface, until Avid came out with whatever interface they did a couple years ago, that no one else. Is that it?
I don't know.
But no one else is making the DAW and the interface, or no one else was, at the time. I say Avid is now, but that's really
Universal
powerful.
Audio.
Universal Audio, yeah. And that's really powerful to be able to have the DAW and interface, really synced in.
Dude, I tell you what, I got a buddy of mine. He's an engineer up in Virginia. His name's Tori G. I'll link you two together, because he used the Studio One. Cool guy, man, knows his stuff, and like he says the same thing. Like, huge advocate for it. I don't know how much like PreSonus stuff he has, but he's definitely all in on Studio One.
So so speaking of that, if everyone saw y'all setup, who would they say that you're loyal to, just based off looking at what you have?
They would say I'm a traitor. I got everything here. Yeah, I don't know.
What about you, O'Shea?
Man, Apple, just because the phone, I got the phone, laptop, 2 Mac Minis, an old iPad that's pretty much a paperweight. That's the brand that I had the most of in terms of pro audio electronics. Um, Second is Universal Audio because I have an Apollo and a satellite. Everything else in terms of hardware in the studio is different. You know what I'm saying? I got two different brand microphones. My monitors are Yamaha, but my sub is JBL. Um, and then of course with plugins, I mean, I got a lot of stuff from everybody.
I definitely.
Go ahead, do my bad.
I was gonna say I definitely probably have I probably definitely have more PreSonus stuff than anything. Yeah. I definitely say I've got more PreSonus stuff than anything. If you look around here, yeah. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I was gonna say if we went in the box, it would definitely be Universal Audio, just because all the plugins and like just Luna, whatever. But yeah, looking at my setup, dude, I got it. It's just a mix. It's just stuff that makes sense to me.
So Lucy, what brand do y'all think has the biggest fan base?
I think I wouldn't call these people fans, but
by definition,
slaves would be a better word. Pro Tools,
dude,
and I call them slaves and not fans because it's like I know people that are married to Pro Tools that
don't like it,
aren't really the hugest fan, but it's just like what I always hear. I had to get Pro Tools. I gotta use, and I'm like, no, you don't. Like, I'm like one of, if not the only one of a very few courses at Belmont University that teaches the class on Logic. You know, like every semester, this is my 4th year, so I've had 8 different classes, and every semester, like, oh man, I'm so glad we're using Logic. You know, man, every other class I got to use Pro Tools.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll even let them use their own DAW, you know, for certain assignments. I'll be like, hey, I don't care what you make the beat in for this particular assignment. So yeah, I would definitely say Pro Tools just because of the history.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I agree. Yeah, it's annoying. Bro, the first time I worked at a major studio, I was like, I just had this constant debate, and like I was like being demeaned. I don't even think demeaned's a word, but like I just felt like a POS every time I walked in there because I'm like, I use FL and Luna, and they're like, what? Like, yeah.
So, what brand is the most hated on?
Oh, you mean rightly so, or you mean like they hate it on, but it's like a really good product?
Image Line.
You think so?
Everybody hates on FL except for people that use FL.
Use it. I'm gonna go with Waves.
Oh yeah, I hate Waves.
You know what? Waves is like Waves is the kind you hate to love them because it's a Pro Tools slave thing where it's like Waves has definitely done some dumb crap, especially how they switch to subscription. But it's like some people, you're kind of like a slave to certain plugins. Well, I'm not. I mean, I do mixes all the time without Waves plugin, but I mean, when you think once you've invested hundreds of dollars in as cheap as their plugins are, that's like 1,000 plugins for like a few $100. It's like you don't want to feel like you wasted your money. So even if you hate on them, it's like, yeah, I guess I'll use this, you know what I'm saying, this drum torque plugin, or you know, I'll use this submarine thing because my trials expired to, you know, something else.
Again, I'm petty, dude. I just don't like Waves because I don't like the way the plugins look. That's it. Like, I know they're good.
That's not petty, though.
There's multi-platinum, Grammy-nominated guys that use it. My buddies use them, man. I get it. But, like, they just look cheap. They just look like some guy in high school coded the front end of it. I'm like,
yeah.
All right.
They look, they're designed, I think, to look fun and not like intimidating or professional. And that's not that's not petty.
I saw y'all's last podcast with DSG.
Mhm.
I've actually talked to him too. When you were talking about the one knob innovation with Waves, cool, but still, it just looks cheap. I don't know.
You mentioned this quick answers here, because I don't want to get too far off topic, but you mentioned how multi-platinum Grammy winners using Waves products. Let me ask y'all, does that matter to y'all? If you see a famous engineer producer using a product, do you care?
I used to.
I used to.
Mhm.
I don't know. When you don't know any better and you're starting, you're like, hey, if he did it,
Yeah.
then I can do it. But once you grow, you realize, hey, it's really your ears, your imagination, your creativity.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I
It'll, but it will make me consider a plugin. Like if I see like Baines or Jason Joshua say, "Hey, check this out." Okay, are you being paid to say that? If you're
Exactly.
not, then I'm gonna check it out. But now it's like every time I see these guys do it, it's like you're probably being paid, you know. And like I've downloaded them, I'm like, oh, they got me, dude. They definitely got me. I fell for it.
Now-
But like I've done. Actually, this was like last month. I challenged myself. I was like, hey, I'm gonna make a full song, sound design, lyrics, record all of it, and just use stock plugins in FL Studio. And it came out and it sounded dope. And I was like, did I just waste thousands of dollars on plugins, bro? Oh my gosh. So yeah. Used to care.
Dude,
Now you don't.
Yeah.
you just gave me a dope idea for a producer challenge next semester. So every week I give them a prompt in class and I give them 45 minutes. So I may do a sample flip challenge, or I may do a boom bap challenge, or I may do whatever it is. I may say, hey, I need a trap inspired beat that Taylor Swift could sing on, whatever it is.
That's cool.
You just gave me an idea for one. So I did a no loops challenge this semester, where it's like, hey, you can't use any loops. Like, I don't care whether you chopping it or looping it, it has to be all composed from scratch. But I didn't think about making them use all stock virtual instruments. So that's going to be a new challenge.
Because like something else I found was I figured things out about FL features that I didn't even know existed. Because I'm now looking for tools that I would normally use that I don't know what the name is of. Like, is there even a stock plugin for this? Or I'd find like other ways around it within the DAW. Maybe there's like a weird way to automate. You just like it. Just I don't know. It's a great challenge. I would love to help you with that. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, I'm down, man. Yeah, man, that would be fun. I got well, never mind. I'm about to get sidetracked.
All right, so last question here is what can brands do to make customers more loyal? And before I lose my thought, I'm going to start off with just want to tie back in the NG bus comp and the EQ. I would love to see brands say, "Hey, you own our," and some brands do, but well, actually not for hardware. I take that back. For plugins, I've seen this, but for hardware, hey, you own our NG bus comp. Here's 10% off the EQ or 15, something like that. Like I think
cool.
I think that would make customers more loyal to that brand, because you feel more appreciated that you're owning, that you have their products.
That's a great idea. I vote that. Yes, bro. That's $600 off if they did 10%. Yeah, I think little incentives like that definitely just showcase like, hey, because as a business owner too, you have to think about, again, finances. Like, how does this make sense for us to stay afloat as a business? If I'm going to run some kind of like marketing campaign like that to where I can afford 10% off on a product, what's my return going to be in the long run? If I'm able to give $600 off every single hardware unit of that tube EQ which is expensive to build,
Yeah.
then I need to be able to make a return on that on the back end in the long run. What's my ROI going to be? Am I going to gain more customers because I was so nice to people? Yeah, maybe. So if it has to make sense for the company too in order to initiate something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would say I think both of those would fall under the umbrella of customer service. And I would say just take more initiative, be more proactive, more consistent with not only getting customer feedback, but quickly making changes.
Yeah.
Like one thing I'll say about Luna. So I love Luna. I mean, I still use Logic, but Luna was the first DAW where I said, okay, maybe people are on to something where when they say mixes sound different in certain DAWs. Like before, I'm like, that's
Not even started
hogwash.
on
Like,
that.
man,
Yeah.
yeah, we're not. But
Yeah.
I'll say whether it was psychological or not, I felt like my mixes in Luna sounded better. But what I liked when they first released it, they was making updates like on an almost weekly basis. Like
Yeah.
every time I looked, it was like bug fix, added this, added support for that. And they have a feature inside of, I can't remember if it's inside of Luna or it's inside of the software thing where you can like download updates and stuff, but you can leave feedback in there. Like it's better than a simple little help thing or sending an email. So I think companies that do that, they show one, they're listening, and they show two, they're committed to the growth, of their product and their brand.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I give props to ImageLine for that. Like FL Studio, they listen to their consumer base
That's
and they
good.
make updates pretty fast and they do some pretty innovative stuff as of recently. But like it's the same thing with Luna. Like if say it crashes, all DAWs crash, probably Logic not as much from what I've heard. But when it crashes, it sends that crash log report directly to their like engineering department or coding department, whoever does that. I don't even know if it's called coding department. And like they directly take that log and because I've talked to these dudes that do it and they look at it, they categorize it and they're like, okay, what's the most common thing that we have going on here? Let's make an adjustment. That's dope. But I think that's just like all around what companies do. I don't know.
Yeah, I give props to PreSonus for that because they listen to their customers too. I've had a feature that I'll request it get added to Studio One. So I think that's important to feel like to know that they listen to their customer base. Because another thing I felt they could do is JDK, which is now API Select, like they used to send emails to their user. Well, actually, I don't know if there was a user, if it was just me, but they used to send emails like, "Hey, how are you using our gear?" And that was kind of cool to get. It's like you're acknowledging me as an owner of your product, and you're curious about how I'm using it. Like that was cool too. I don't know if some people that may come off as spam. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. Sounds like customer service is just that number one thing, man. Like, but I mean, that's business. You're interacting with people.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Definitely. All right. We're going to wrap this episode up. Hey, Kid, definitely thank you for joining us. Definitely good discussion here. Glad we're able to now know what loyal means.
Yeah, by definition.
By definition.
Man.
Wait, hold on. That was a wild
Zarbeast
definition in the
shot.
first place.
Definitely was.
I did not know that.
Definitely was. It's just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Let's just walk away with unswerving allegiance.
Yeah.
And I'm not loyal to anybody other than God, my wife, and myself.
All right. So, don't forget to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And again, all guests and hosts information that's on the episode will be in the show notes. And don't forget to join the discussion for this episode and more on our Facebook group, Faders Up Podcast. All right, I'm Czar.
It's your boy O'Shea.
A-Kid, find me at this is A-Kid track on Instagram.
And we'll catch y'all next episode.
Peace.